Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, good. At least this works. Now I can share as well. So Siobhan, you see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
You hear me? You see me? Everything perfect.
Everything
Good.
is perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. And we just missed 1 minute. That's fine. I'm talking quick. So I was asked to give a speech on academia and business society. How do they interconnect? Why did Siobhan think that I'm a good person to give a speech like this? I'm head of research at FHV in Austria. I'm also head of the research center energy. And basically now the last 5.5 years at FHV, I'm constantly working together with industrial partners on applied research. And a lot of my students and also a lot of my PhDs goes into industry, came back for academical questions to our place. And this is basically why she thought that I might be the correct person to do this. So what I do now in the next 5 to 7 minutes, I want to give you 2 answers on the question how we can interconnect with businesses, and then hopefully we have an interactive discussion what problems you saw, what challenges you saw, and what solutions you had. Here. So the question we have to ask ourselves in the next minutes is, how do academia and business societal organizations find each other and create meaningful engagement opportunities? And maybe you take 10 seconds until I get my mobile phone on flight mode, because someone wants to try to call me. To answer this question for you, just think about a use case it worked, and think about a use case it didn't work, because then you're prepared for the discussion later on. And I, in the meanwhile, take my mobile phone on flight mode. And afterwards, I tell you what I noticed. So I want to show you now 2 use cases. The first one, I think academia has to foresee the problem industry has. The second one is academia has to take over the whole bureaucracy of all the research programs. And this is what I learned in the last 5 years. And I want to give you a deep dive now into one example, one research project of my side, where I collaborate with 5 different companies in Vorarlberg. Seeing problems. What I did in 2019, I went to different partners in Vorarlberg, either from the residential applications, so heat pump and boilers, or from the industrial applications, cooling machine, production companies, power plants, because I'm coming originally from the thermal engineering point of view. And I went to them and said, okay, I want to have 1 hour with your CEO or with the head of your development team. And I said to them, okay, let's be honest with each other. You have a lot of operational data. You need this data either because you want to have it or because your company customers want to have it. And if you have it, you just put it in a cloud. So your cloud is increasing and increasing and increasing and increasing. And basically the cloud costs you money because you either don't have the time or you don't have the knowledge and the competences to really get added value out of the data you're storing every single second of your life, of your industrial life. And then I told them, okay, let's make a deal. As they nodded, so I found their problem, I foresee their problem, that they have this problem. And I said, okay, if this is your problem, we make a deal. You give us your operational data, we do a proper system identification, and afterwards, our experts at FHV are doing an optimization. So an optimization on a subject you are giving us. So either you want to build better power plants, or you want to reduce downtimes, or you want to get rid of different sensors. So you tell us where we have to optimize the system, but we do it based on your operational data. And then we give you the information back. And basically we turn the red euros, so the minus, into plus euros. So we give you a new business case, we give you more money out of your systems, or we give you better systems. And at this point, they said, okay, that's nice, Markus. You found our problem. You showed us a solution. We trust you that you have the competencies to do so. But to be honest, we don't want to be part of a big research program, because we know that we have to write hours then, and we have to tell the controlling department to send our salaries to the European Union, or to an Austrian funding agency, and therefore we are not interested. However, then I told them, okay, let's do it like this. We have this special program in Austria called Josef Ressel Centers, and there all the industrial partners are getting into an association where they pay the money to the association, to the Christian Doppler Association, and they increase the money with the funding of Vienna, so with the funding of Austrian research money for the scientific chances. So basically they pay that we solve them the applied industrial problems, the problem I showed you right now. And our funding agency in Austria give us money to also give an opportunity for young scientists to give their contribution to the scientific community. So we are looking for scientific chances, for gaps in literature, for research questions, and for PhD topics. And the good thing here is the companies are just part of the association. They are paying money, cash in, and from this point of view, all the controlling is done by FHV. We are hiring the people, we are taking the risk of people leaving us or coming. We just told them, we solve your problem and you pay the money for it. And at this point, they said, okay, now it's getting interesting because you take over the bureaucracy. And I want to show you another 2 examples where we do it the same based on different funding opportunities. We have one program of the European fund, so EFRE, Industry of the Future, Data-Based, Energy Efficient and Sustainable. Here, FHV pays a lot of money, so 50% of the salary is paid by FHV, 50% is coming from the state of Vorarlberg and for the European Union to get competences industry really needs. So it's basically a little bit like RunEU Plus. We ask our companies, what competences do you need? And we train our researchers, especially in these competences. Here it's a little bit more research orientated. So we set up research competences they need, for example, data science or optimization aspects. And then they say, okay, if you have these competences, then we go into a fruitful collaboration with you. The same idea is another research program we have in Austria. It's called COIN, Lab for Accelerating Lifetime Testing. Here it's the same. It's 5 years project. At the beginning, you just need an LOI of the company saying we are interested that FHV sets up some competences in accelerating lifetime testing. And if they have done so, we pay them for special transfer projects or also research projects. So here again, at the entry point, you always need less bureaucracy for the companies, because if you shock them at the beginning with telling them, okay, we need the salary of your CEO, because we have to put it on slide 17 of the research proposal at the European Union, they might be suspicious. If you have programs like this, where you set up the competences and set up a trusty collaboration with the companies, then they are in, and then they are more than happy to pay you for your good work you are doing. And the last one I already told you was the Josef Ressel Center for Intelligent Thermal Energy Systems. There we have the same idea, reducing the bureaucracy, setting up trustful relationships at the beginning, and then going into common research projects. So the overall summary from my side is, how do we get the companies to us? They told me, Markus, you nailed our problem. So I foresee their problem. And you promised that we don't have to write working hours or do anything else on this level of bureaucracy. So where can we transfer the money? And I think that's the idea of the whole system. For us at RunEU Plus, we have to know and we have to foresee the competences the industry needs. And then we have to also do the organizational stuff for them. But if we do, there's a lot of money out there and a lot of companies who are willing to collaborate with us at RunEU or with other universities. And I think this is a chance we have to take in the future. So I showed you now 2 different things I think are important. And now I stop sharing my presentation. And I hope now we will have a discussion on what happened or what to you happened in the last months, in the last years. Where do you see chances? Where do you see challenges in collaborating with companies or with other social organizations? Thank you very much. And now